In Ncuti Gatwa's first season as the Doctor, the third episode, Boom, stood out as a fan favorite and raised the bar as to what we could expect from this new Doctor and this new series. Now we have the third episode of season 2, The Well. Does it hit as hard? Please leave a comment if you've already seen The Well. What did you think of it? If you haven't seen it yet or aren't planning to see it, please leave a comment too. I'd love to hear your opinion. But be warned, in this video, there will be spoilers. I was hard on Lux, Season 2, Episode 2. I felt the script wasn't polished enough, and the villain, Lux, was well designed visually and well performed by Alan Cumming. I love him. But it was all over the place with regards to Lux's power set and his motivation and his goals. Not as scary or as memorable as Maestro or The Toymaker. That made 2 episodes in a row that didn't seem to pay off themes they hinted at, like AI and gender roles and racism and HIV. I also had issues about Belinda's characterization. The first episode ended with her seeming unimpressed by the Doctor and his ways, and just wanting to get home, a rather reluctant companion. The second episode flip-flopped on that aspect of her character, with her mostly seeming to be excited about exploring time and space with the Doctor, when earlier she'd said that she was not one of the Doctor's adventures. We start off The Well on the TARDIS, just after leaving the 1950s at the end of episode 2. They still can't get back to 2025. So they have to land anywhere and anywhen to use the Vindicator device to get another reading and set up another tether to help reel them into their target time of 2025 on Earth. I wonder, is the device name Vindicator important? Would that serve a function akin to the actual meaning of the word vindicator later on in the season? What is being vindicated, and by who? Belinda is worried that something might have happened to Earth, and that is why they can't return. Maybe there's no Earth waiting for them. She references her parents again, and she references her dad singing. The Doctor comforts her, giving her a hug, clasping and kissing her hands, promising to get her home. She says that he can't promise, but he replies, I can, I will, I do. Wedding vows? There are several things going on in this episode that hint at something deeper building between the Doctor and Belinda. He will meet her parents. He promises that. He will sing in front of the parents. He kisses her hands. He says, I do. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. They land 500,000 years into the future. 500,000 years. Belinda wonders if humanity even exists, and the Doctor assures her that humanity always exists. Then Belinda asks if they will change clothes again, and they run off to get into some futuristic space garb. If this is a fixture for every time they land, I don't mind it. The Doctor is winning her over, and in episode 3, it seems like the time for her reluctance to start to wane. I still think she should have been more put upon in Lux, but whatever, her excitement is more fitting here in episode 3, and the Doctor acknowledges it. He says, Girl, you're beginning to enjoy this. They land on what seems to be a spaceship, don their helmets under orders from some kind of commander, with a group of what seem to be space soldiers, and suddenly do a jump from orbit. They land on the surface of a desolate planet drenched in what's called galvanic radiation. So no life can exist there. And the Doctor sets up the Vindicator device to take his reading. When confronted by the leader of the soldier squad, the Doctor flashes some psychic paper and takes command at a higher rank than their superior. This is a test. He wants to see how they function as a group, and if they're doing a good job. Unfortunately, the orbiting ship will take 5 hours to land, and that's where the TARDIS is parked. So the doctor and the nurse have no option but to tag along with this squad on their mission. A mining base has gone silent, and the squad is here to find out what happened. One thing the commander says around this time in response to the sentence, "There is still hope," she says, "Hope is irrelevant." This is in contrast to something the doctor said last episode in Lux when he was in the 1950s. A mother waiting for some sign that her missing son will return comments on the sudden appearance of the TARDIS in the street. It says police box. The doctor asks, "Does that give you hope?" The mother responds, "It does, sir." The doctor responds to that, "Well, let me tell you, hope can change the world." Interesting. There's a contrast between two attitudes of hope in back-to-back episodes. One funny thing, the doctor keeps calling people babe and babes. One soldier thinks it is inappropriate, so the doctor replies, "Okay, hon." I chuckled. Well played, sir. Well played. What do they find after entering the mining base? Everyone is dead. Half have had their necks broken, and half have been shot. On top of that, all of the mirrors are broken. It is very disturbing, a great mystery. There is a comment about nuking the site from orbit, so the aliens vibe is real. Space soldiers investigating a colony of sorts that has gone silent, only to find signs of battle and lots of death. What happened here? It turns out that not everyone is dead after all. They follow an audio signal of a heartbeat to discover one survivor, a deaf woman named Alice. She just wants to go home to her daughter. She was the cook and no one special. In the room with her is a body, her best friend. Someone she had to kill to save her own life because everyone went mad and started killing each other. At this point, I was wondering if the deafness made her immune to whatever happened, somehow protecting her from the madness that took over everyone else's lives. Or was she lying and actually behind it all? Still, a great mystery. The deafness itself was interesting. The doctor can sign, but the commander tells him not to have secret conversations. This reminded me of something from episode 1, The Robot Revolution, where the AI cannot hear every ninth word, and secret messages can be communicated without the AI realizing it. The soldiers switch to a device that projects a screen with speech-to-text functionality. So everyone can converse with Alice. She can just read the screen to understand what they're saying. She can speak very clearly, and she can lip read, as well as sign. The doctor makes this comment: "Doesn't matter the year, signing still makes some people paranoid." Belinda has been identified as a nurse and goes in to check on an injury to Alice's arm. Alice remarks with surprise, "A nurse who can't sign? That's against the law." Belinda agrees that it should be against the law. Unlike the AI, gender roles, HIV, and racism non-commentaries that I felt were just throwaway references in episodes 1 and 2, the deafness aspect is part of the overall story, and there is a direct yet still subtle commentary being made here, one I agree with. Using technology to make communication easier, having signing be part of medical training to some extent, makes sense to me. Already, this episode is so much more satisfying than Lux or the Robot Revolution. To me, if you enjoyed those episodes, I'm not taking that away from you. I liked them too, or I wouldn't still be watching. I just felt they missed some opportunities or needed more polish on the scripts. Anyway, something I noticed in Lux reappears here. In this episode, we learned that Alice has been here for 15 days. The soldiers are ordered to maintain a 15-foot perimeter around Alice. There were 10 soldiers plus the commander, so 11. Then the doctor and Belinda joined them, so 13. Then they found Alice, so 14. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. In Lux, 15 people went missing in the theater. 15 days, 15 feet, 15 people in the theater. And now 14 people here on this planet. There should be one more, bringing the total of life forms on this planet to 15. Then I clued into something else and felt so stupid. If 15 is not in itself some kind of clue for this season's greater arc, it is probably just a reference to Ncuti Gatwa being the 15th Doctor. Duh! There were no 15s mentioned in the Robot Revolution that I can recall, but I will keep my eyes and ears open for the number 15 for the rest of the season. That being said, 15 should have been an important number last season as well, as it was Ncuti's first turn at playing the role. Now our group splits up, with some soldiers staying with Belinda and Alice and the rest going with the doctor to the control center to find out what happened. Scenes are intercut between the two locations, so I will summarize each place at one time until the groups actually join. In the control center, we find a huge well has been drilled 5 miles deep into the planet's crust, with mention being made of using mercury as part of the drilling process. Memories of the Impossible Planet and the Satan Pit, two-parter with David Tennant, spring to mind. Did they find something down there? Did they release something? Is it a member of the Pantheon we have not met yet? Through conversation, the Doctor learns that no one here is familiar with Earth or humans. They've never heard of either word before. That issue gets put aside when, with some sonic screwdriver assistance, they access the video records of this mining colony. Everything's corrupted, disjointed, garbled, but they can make out some things. Something came up from the well. The miners didn't know what it was. The Doctor refers to his old head. Where does the galvanic radiation come from? The sun, which is just a gray star now, an extonic star that collapsed 400,000 years ago. There was a war. All the carbon was stripped from the surface. What kind of carbon? Carbon-46, which is diamond. This is a diamond mine. The entire surface used to be made entirely up of diamonds. What was the planet called back then, the Doctor asks. Midnight. Flash to David Tennant's face as the Doctor in one of my favorite episodes and one of the best episodes from his run and all of Doctor Who. Midnight. Yes, brilliant! If you haven't seen that episode, get on it, find it online, wherever it may be, and watch it. It takes place, for the most part, in one room and feels like a stage play. You don't need any setup. It stands alone very easily. So no homework needed. I can't recommend Midnight highly enough. And to have this episode tie into that, genius. Back to Belinda. She has also found that no one has heard of Earth or humans. But before she can dive deeper into that, jump scare! Something is behind Alice. Just a glimpse of it. Or is there? She ignores it as just her imagination, but jump scare! Something is behind Alice, peeking out from over her shoulder, and then disappearing again too quickly to really be identified or registered, but something is behind Alice. Then others in the room think they saw something behind Alice, and everyone starts to go on high alert. One soldier circles behind Alice, while the others maintain eye contact with her from the front, and wham! That soldier gets hurled through the air and is no longer alive. The Doctor and his group rush in now, so everyone is together again, and everyone tries to make sense of what is happening. Some people think something is behind Alice and attacked the soldier. Other people think Alice attacked the soldier because they didn't notice anything behind Alice. Alice just wants to go home. But she reveals, there is something behind me. I don't know what it is. No one knows what it is. It came out of the well. When it did, it was laughing. It gets behind one person, the host, if you will, and slowly unnerves other people when they get glimpses of it, making them paranoid and distrustful. If you kill the host, it goes behind you. It whispers to you. But Alice is immune to the whispering since she is deaf. She just knows that it is behind her, and she just wants to go home. It gets behind you, and it stays behind you forever. That is why half of the victims were shot by a non-host or had their necks snapped by the creature if you got behind the host and saw it. When you go behind it, it is like you are at 12 o'clock, if there's a clock face, midnight, and you die. The doctor remembers his encounter with the entity in a past incarnation. No face, no name, no self. It played games, it had fun, it was learning. So chilling and malevolent. With everything we have seen from the Pantheon during Gatwa's run, could this actually be a member of the Pantheon in some form? Trapped on a world of diamonds with reflections all around, hiding deep underground, maybe because of the galvanic radiation from the collapsed sun. Oh, by the way, speaking of suns, I mentioned in my video on Lux that we've seen stars play roles in every episode this season. Going back to the Christmas special in 2024, Joy merged with a star in a briefcase and ascended to her place in the cosmos. In episode 1, Belinda was gifted a star by her boyfriend. In episode 2, our son, a star, is what defeated the villain. Now in episode 3, a star caused the galvanic radiation that makes this world lifeless. Just saying. Along with the number 15, I'm keeping a lookout for stars. One soldier declares a mutiny and takes charge from the commander and from the doctor. His plan is to circle Alice from either direction and either disprove the story or meet the enemy. His words. While his plan works, it is at the cost of several soldiers' lives. But the commander brilliantly turns things around and permanently removes this head mutineer from existence. It is not what she wanted to do. He was a good soldier. But his plan would have doomed them all. The doctor turns off his speech-to-text projector and turns his back on Alice to talk to the commander, which upsets Alice greatly. Without the projected speech or lip reading, she cannot be part of the discussion. Is the doctor turning his back on her figuratively as well as literally? Too many people have died, and now it stops. The solution seems to be to leave Alice behind. The doctor goes to Alice and speaks to the entity, calling it his old friend. He hears the whispering. It knows his name. That is something no one should know for reasons you understand if you've watched Doctor Who. But if you watch Midnight, you will understand why this entity knows his name. And the doctor cries. But no jokes here. It is perfect. The entity shows itself to him, and he sees what is behind it. The pipes containing mercury. Whatever gets behind the entity is destroyed, but what if behind the entity is the entity? Brilliant! See, every little thing is paying off. The mercury, the deafness. It all makes sense. They're little seeds that are planted, and you can cultivate them and try to figure things out as the show goes along with the doctor. Mysteries are always best when you have the same clues as the detective and you can play the game and try to solve it. So, 2 quick shots from the commander. Very accurate because she is a crack shot. Rupture the pipes. the mercury behind raining down like a curtain behind Alice, and everyone gets ready to run. The curtain spreads and closes. The entity sees itself. Alice is hurled forward, freed from its possession. Everyone runs. The Doctor and Belinda stopping to see the entity pursuing them. It creepily pokes out from the edge of a doorway, but we don't get a good look at it. But so terrifying. So terrifying. They all run to the airlock, which can handle 6 people at a time. They have 7 now. They've lost quite a few. So 2 soldiers leave first with Alice to get her to safety. The other 4 get ready for their turn, but the entity has joined them. It is behind Belinda. The Doctor begs the entity to take him instead. He will carry it around the universe on his back. Then the commander has another idea, precisely shooting Belinda in a manner that could be fatal if not done perfectly. And since the entity hides behind whoever kills its host, it now moves behind the commander. She runs, the Doctor behind her. And we hear more about her backstory, seeing a flashback to when she was a little girl. She reveals that she ran across the galaxy with one aim: to do my duty, to help, to protect, to bring hope. I guess she doesn't really think hope is irrelevant after all. She and the Doctor are very similar. As the Doctor watches, the commander lets herself fall into the well, a 5-mile drop that can only end one way. The entity is now backward started, and safe back on the TARDIS, the Doctor has successfully repaired Belinda's wound. She will be all right. They have their Vindicator reading and can now try to get back to 2025. But another question is on both of their minds now. What happened to Earth? The episode ends with one of the surviving soldiers back on board the spaceship, transmitting a report to her superior. She mentions the Doctor and his strange cargo, a tall blue box. The superior turns out to be none other than Mrs. Flood, and she asks if the Doctor was using a device which she shows on her tablet. It is the Vindicator, and she seems quite pleased that her prediction, whatever her prediction was, turned out to be correct. The transition ends, and we hear the sound of the TARDIS departing. The soldier talks briefly with a comrade who looks over her shoulder at something with a confused look on her face. The first soldier, very concerned, asks, "What is it?" As the episode fades to black, we hear whispering. Oh, creepy! So creepy! Outstanding! I'm sure you can tell from my reaction that I loved this episode. This is by far the best individual episode of Gatwa's run to date, and I think it stands as one of the best Doctor Who episodes, period. The atmosphere, the use of lighting and sound and music, the slow reveal of the mystery, the tie-in to the classic Midnight, and the relevance of the deafness, along with subtle commentary about access to communication, the setup to greater problems with Earth back in 2025, the more effective use of Mrs. Flood, not just a fourth wall breaking wink at the audience like in Lux, but the establishment of some kind of plot she is undertaking. Is she a good guy or a bad guy? We don't know yet, but she is several steps ahead of the Doctor. This season just picked up majorly. I couldn't be more pleased. This is why I don't give up on Doctor Who. There might be some misfires. I might get disinterested in a season, but I'll come back and check it out and I'll find something worth watching. I will watch out for the number 15. I will see if more stars feature in the story as things go forward. I will pay attention to how the relationship between the Doctor and Belinda develops. He has started calling her Belle as a kind of pet name. He kissed her hands. He promised to meet her parents. He said, "I do." Is she the 15th Doctor's Rose? I'm not expecting that, and I know Ncuti Gatwa's orientation. But he is a very affectionate doctor, along with being extremely sympathetic, empathetic, and compassionate. But this seems something different. So, how are you liking season 2 of Gatwa's run as Doctor Who? Did you like The Well? Have you seen Midnight? What are some classic episodes for you? And do you think this episode, The Well, could rank among them? Any opinions and experiences are welcome, so please leave a comment and share them with me. And if you want to see more videos about entertainment of all kinds, please consider subscribing to my channel. If you enjoyed this video, found it interesting, entertaining, or informative in any way, please leave a like to let me know. Thank you for watching. See you next time.